Wants to throw it to short. He caught it. He's going on first down. Oh, yes. The big man dives down the 31-yard line. Oh, that is beautiful. Fields looking pressured, hit from behind, take it down. Aiden Hutchinson got him.
No respect.
So, we look like we're ready. This is day one.
No respect.
All right. Do you guys have audio now? Are you good now? Oh, you gotta love this. Huh? Is there sound, Megan? Okay. All right, we're back. Okay, so here's where I started. Since you guys didn't hear everything, first and foremost, I do not have a voice. Secondly, my goodness, Lions fans, we are finally winners. And winners of a home playoff game. A playoff game, I mean, just enough. And we get a second chance to do it next week at home. But the biggest thing is we have now thrown this monkey off of our back, and we have drowned it in the deepest river we could find. And what I mean by that is Matthew Stafford and the whole narrative with the Rams and the Lions. Now, a lot of us were talking about wanting to take on the Rams, or, if we got the second seed. I'm going to paint you guys a good picture. Put yourself, and I'm not saying that we would have lost the game, but after watching what the Cowboys just had done to them by the Packers, if we would have had the number 2 seed, that would have been us playing the Packers. And they are playing an elite level of football right now, offense and defense. I don't know if tonight happens. I'm not saying that we would have lost, but I think it would have been a much different game. So tonight happened. It was the perfect narrative for the NFL. It was an incredible journey that these Lions have been on for a long time. And you're right, Bill Collier, next week at home is the best part of today. You're 1,000% correct. And Sean Rounds, we ain't done yet. Absolutely. I had the joy of sitting next to Derek Fields tonight. He sat up in our seats. Had a Lions club now for more than 22 seasons. And being able to do this with another creator that is so passionate and really believes in this team. I mean, he was going harder than I was. I mean, I didn't have a voice when I showed up at the game, but it's a different meaning when you get to do it with people you love. I had Megan next to me, a person that I just met this year, and Derek. I mean, just an incredible moment to take in. My father was sitting down in the other seats in 105, so I didn't get the opportunity to, take in the win with him after the game, but he knows I was there in spirit. What an incredible journey for these Lions. And I got to tell you, when this game was getting going, I mean, the energy, like Dan Campbell said in the post-game press conference, was different. Like, it's been rocking all year. There has not been a game that I've been at that it has not been electric, but tonight was different. Much different. Jared Goff comes out of the tunnel, and the octave went up. I mean, you're talking 120 plus decibels. Allowing Jared Goff to be the last man called out of the tunnel was epic for the Lions. Perfectly planned to allow him to go last, to face whatever demons he may have wanted to exercise tonight, and he did it. Picture perfect fashion. I mean, come on, let's look at some of these numbers. 22 of 27, 277 yards, only one TD. He was sacked 3 times, 74.6 QBR, which is a pretty damn good QBR, 121.8 rating. Spread the ball around to 6 guys. Absolutely did what he needed to do. And we came out on fire. I didn't think we could be stopped. But like I warned everybody earlier in the pop-up chat that I did from the room, is that Ben Johnson would go away from what was working, and he did. And things started to stall out. And I also warned everyone that AG was going to get stubborn, and he did. I know that they said that they made some adjustments, but I just didn't see them. We still stuck with the single high safety when, I love the single high safety when they're bringing the right pressure. And tonight, for whatever reason, it just was not working as well as it used to. They were not sending the DBs and the linebackers blitzing on the sides as they have in the few weeks past. But this was a game of attrition tonight. It was going to be who stopped who first or who stopped who last. Here's something that I thought about on the way home. And I don't think I've ever mentioned this to you guys. But it's almost like when you're putting together your defensive plan, and I'm only bringing this up for next week because it's another win or go home situation. But think about this for a minute. What your offense does well means that your defense probably can't guard that. And if you look what the LA Rams did to us tonight, they utilized our offense against us. Everything that they were doing and having success with, the drag routes of Puka Nacua over the middle, it's exactly what Amon-Ra does. Exactly. It's exactly what Laporta does. And they used it against us because they know our defense can't stop our own offense. Perfectly executed plan by the Rams. We just were able to stop them, one more time than they could stop us. And the biggest ballsy call of the night, Dan Campbell. I mean, you're around the 4-minute mark, roughly. Don't quote me. And we get a penalty on the Rams that backs them up to a 3rd and 14, or what would have been about a 4th and 4 in field goal range. And he makes the right call. Me personally, I will tell you straight up, I was thinking he's going to take the penalty. They're going to go kick the field goal. We're going to go march down the field and kick a field goal and win the game. Or better yet, score a TD. But we better not leave Stafford with any time. That's what was going through my head. He accepts the penalty. He puts it on the defense to go in and get a big stop. And they did. Ballsiest call of the night. Perfect call. All the calls that Dan Campbell has screwed up over the last 2 years, he made up for it tonight with that one call right there. So congratulations to Dan Campbell and these Detroit Lions and even Aaron Glenn. Look, even though there's a lot of us that aren't real happy with him and some of the things that he's done, he is still a pretty damn good defensive coordinator. He got these guys in the right alignment late to make the stop, and it worked. So, all right, let me jump into the chat. I'm sure you guys have been all over the place on YouTube tonight. There's a lot of action going on. I caught a little bit of Derek's beginning and could see how emotional he was. I mean, I would cry if I had any tears to cry. Honestly, I'm so frozen right now, they'd probably come out as icicles. All right, Better the Hunt says the NFC North is tough. Man, have we not made this the talk of the NFL this season? Is the NFC North, which used to be the laughingstock of the NFL, is now showing the NFL who's boss. Green Bay Packers, man, I got to tell you, Jordan Love, I doubted that kid. It took him about 7-8 games to pull himself together. And they're going to be a scary opponent for a few years. And the Bears, they're right behind us. They are in the same position that we are in this last offseason. So talking about the NFC being North, or the NFC North being tough, you're darn right. And it's only going to get tougher. All right, so next week we have the option right now of Bucks or Eagles. And I'm quite honestly happy with either. I don't think that that's a game that we can lose. A.J. Brown's out for the Eagles. I think he's done for the season. And we've already beaten the Bucks. I mean, they have a pretty good defense, but look, this is a game that I know we can win against the Bucks. The Eagles, they got a little bit more firepower. I see someone mentioning something about Swift being, the other option that we've got to go take care of. Another former teammate that left us, but I just don't see the iconic rivalry with the Eagles that I did with the Rams. Big time rivalry now. Manny Rodriguez said, I said it earlier, the Lions had to win the Los Angeles battle. Great games from the Monty and Gibbs. Yeah, they played pretty well. I mean, Monty by far had the better game. Matter of fact, he had 14 carries, 57 yards, 4.1 average. Don't know what happened to Gibbs tonight. This was a game that should have been outside zone, and it was open. They didn't run it. 8 for 25 for Jahmyr Gibbs, 3.1 average. Not his best night. But he came alive in the passing game. He caught 4 balls for 43 yards, 10.8 average on 4 targets, so 100% in the passing game. So where he wasn't being effective, he was effective in other ways, and we probably expected that because of Laporta. But, I just want to give a shout-out to the person that gave me the information on Laporta this past week. It all came through, and you heard Dan talk about it tonight, that they knew Wednesday that Laporta was going to go, but they played the game the rest of the week. Now, he's not going to come out and say he played the game. He still had to clear some things. But shout out to, you know who you are. Shout out to my person. I really appreciate you. What you going to get me this week? That's the question. That's the burning question. Clarkson Vaughn, that's a new name. Haven't seen you in here. Wish my lady was still here. She used to work at Ford Field and got me a job there. She loved her boys. Diabetes took her away. She would have loved tonight. R.I.P. MJD. Man, rest in peace to your lady, my friend. That's tough to hear. And I bet she would have been extremely excited for tonight. Clarkston also says it was a mirror-like team, and it really was. Matter of fact, I mean, if you look at the time of possession tonight, they were separated by less than a minute. Time of possession for the Lions, 29:55. LA Rams, 30 minutes and 5 seconds. First downs, 22 for LA, 23 for the Lions. First downs, 15 for LA, 16 for the Lions. And those are passing first downs. My apology. Total yards, LA got 425 total on us. We only put up 334. Total plays, dead even, 55 apiece. So, yeah, we knew Stafford was going to come in and chuck 350. It's just those are the things that AG's got to clean up before this next weekend. He has to. So there's something else I want to address tonight. Southwest Line 16, it says, I was happier for Goff than myself. With his leadership, he and the Lions removed a 64,000-pound gorilla off their back from all these years of not winning a playoff game. Yeah, and it's bigger than that too, man. I mean, it's the McVay saga. It's the Stafford saga. I mean, it's just everything. Everything that Jared Goff has been doubted for. Everything that the Detroit Lions have been doubted for. Every analyst that was, picking the Rams, except for Rex Ryan. Rex Ryan, that dude deserves something. He needs to be brought in for this week's game. Something. The Lions need to reach out to Rex Ryan because he's the only one that is sticking up for us. And shame on you, Dan Orlovsky. I know that Matt Stafford's your buddy, but shame on you for turning your back on the Lions. That's what you don't do. So Eric Meyer says they ran crossing routes all night. Absolutely. And those crossers is exactly what we use too. Anything over the middle, it's open. The one thing that I do like about Stafford, and his delivery and drop back is he does that little drop back curl, little half turn where he gets himself into position. That's where I thought our defense was going to be able to eat him alive tonight, because he takes that extra curl to set up, and we just couldn't get to him. Just couldn't get to him. Sean Round says Rex Ryan needs to be our defensive coordinator if AG leaves for a head coaching position. I don't know about Rex Ryan's background as a DC. Overall, though, I mean, the dude is just an excellent guy. Excellent dude. Phenomenal coach. I know he got, had a few bad seasons there, a few bad hands that were dealt to him, but he's somebody that knows the league in and out. And he knows what he's seeing on the field. I mean, he called everything right about the Detroit Lions. But the thing that I want to address tonight is I kept posting things that I was seeing during the game and tagging the NFL because I was getting real sick of it. So I want to just go back and recap some of the things that I posted. Number one. While the last thing I posted was, wow, we did it, and we're coming back next week to do it again. But before that, it was another timeout by the refs for the Rams. Can somebody please explain to me what the heck was going on when, again, there was about 4 minutes. It was that last drive of the Rams, and all of a sudden the refs blow it dead and then say, oh, the clock was fine. Well, what do you mean, oh, the clock was fine? You never started the clock. You never started the play clock. It was sitting there 25 seconds for forever. It's like they allow the Lions to get set up on defense, and then the refs do something to give the Rams an extra timeout that they don't have to call. And the stadium was rocking. You couldn't hear a damn thing. The only thing that I heard was, oh, the clock was fine. But that wasn't the first time. It was like the second or third time that game that something like that had happened. Before that, there was another no timeout called. And before that was the breaking news. Stafford was injured on the play. He was exiting the field. And then I put this one. NFL, your refs called a false start when the defense clearly jumped, trying to take this game away, obviously. Before that, late hit on Jahmyr Gibbs. First play, end of the second quarter, around 3:28. No flag. Before that, NFL, dirty hit on Reynolds, not called. Pass interference on St. Brown, not called. Clearly nothing has changed. Before that, NFL, the Rams player tried gouging out the eyes of the Lion defender when Joseph pulled him off of him. Yet we get the 15-yard personal foul. So does anybody remember that play? It was in the beginning of the game. Kirby Joseph goes up and rips somebody off the pile. And if you go back and watch the replay, which I'm going to have to watch to see who was on the bottom, I thought it was Aiden Hutchinson. But there was an LA guy on top of him, literally jamming his fingers like in his helmet. Joseph saw it, ran over and ripped the dude off of him and gets the penalty. So it just doesn't make any sense to me that all of these things could happen and not one flag against LA. I mean, there should have been a few personal, fouls out of this. All I can say is we won the game, and that's all that matters. But if we would have lost the game, I mean, there's 100 yards of penalties not called. Potential ejection not called. And that's the stuff that blows my mind. Is why do we keep getting this type of officiating against the Lions, and especially in our house? We don't even get the benefit of home cooking anymore. Never really have. Official Savage, you must not be a Lions fan, but CJDJ hit a dude in the head when he was a defenseless player. In the second half, it was called fair, quit crying, we won. I don't know what you're talking about. So if he got flagged for it, he got flagged for it, but I'm not talking about CJ Gardner-Johnson. James Burgess says the Rams would have won Oh, wow, I woke up to reality and, yeah, the better team won. Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, I don't know, Official Savage, Diehard Lion, that's great, but I have no clue what you're talking about on the C.J. Gardner thing. I'm pretty sure C.J. Gardner did get flagged for something, and that would be the correct play or the correct call if it happened that way. I'm talking about the other 10 or 15 calls that, weren't made, and huge plays at that. I'm sorry, you don't play dirty in this game to where you're intentionally trying to gouge somebody's eyes out so they can't play. Because that's clearly what they were trying to do. And there was a few other late hits and intentional targeting, hits against Lions, players that were never called, not flagged, nothing. So that kind of stuff has to stop. Yes, Joseph Austin, no third downs on the first two drives. I mean, it wasn't that incredible. Ben Johnson was mixing it up like incredibly in the beginning of this game, and that's why we went touchdown, touchdown, touchdown. But then he got away from it. He went into reserve mode. Like, okay, we've got a lead. I'm going to go into reserve mode now. What else do I got in my bag of tricks that I can use? Instead of foot on the gas, clinch the throat and go. Those are the things you can't do in the playoffs. It almost cost us tonight. But man, I can't tell you how excited I am to be able to celebrate this. It's really not going to hit me until I wake up and until I see all of the national media change their mind about the Detroit Lions. But I got to tell you, the Rams came to play, though. I mean, when they weren't playing dirty, they came to play. And the Lions really, they played well tonight. They played like a complete team, but the defense could have cost us dearly in this game yet again. The offense obviously won this game for us. The defense made some plays. But here's my question to you guys. C.J. Gardner-Johnson. The last few weeks, we have not had some of these big explosive plays like we saw tonight. The big bomb. I mean, they were 3rd and 19, and they throw a touchdown. Like, what was it, a 60-yard touchdown? 3rd and 19. So, AG, please tell me, what defense are you going to call in 3rd and 19 again? Because there you should have lined everybody up at the 15-yard, line marker away from the line of scrimmage and made sure that nothing got behind you. Those types of plays will kill this team next week. Can't happen. What was the other one? It was Tutu Atwell. I think that was also a 3rd and long play. And Tutu Atwell caught that ball up the right hash and scored. A little bit of a broken play. But C.J. Gardner-Johnson has been playing way out of position on some of these. Ifeatu Melifonwu was not. He was getting interceptions on those. So to me, I love C.J. Gardner-Johnson. I love the energy that he brings. But my main concern is that when he comes back, he's not going to have enough time spent throughout the whole season in building that camaraderie and that consistency up with the defense that it could hinder us. Now, look, I can't make, a better call than what they can. They're the ones that see it day in and day out. They know what kind of player he is, but we also know that's AG's buddy. So I would have probably stuck with what worked and brought C.J. Gardner in off the bench as an extra safety in, the bigger packages, the dime package, as opposed to making him a prime part of the game plan. And I'm sure a lot of you would disagree with that. And that's okay. Andy B, man, you should have jumped on the show. I see you said Goff played awesome. Lions did it. I know, you can't believe it, man. You can't believe it. I can't believe it. Still can't believe it. Nope, I'm not blaming C.J. Gardner for Vildor's F-ups because Vildor had some pretty bad plays at times too. He also had some pretty good plays. But you got to realize too that C.J. Gardner-Johnson is the last line of defense. He is the one that is supposed to be behind everybody. So if Vildor gets burned for some reason, C.J. Gardner-Johnson has to be there to stop it. The point is that they're getting behind everybody. So it's a scheme thing. It's the play call that's obviously not right for the situation, and they've got to clean it up this week. But we've been asking them to clean it up since week 1. So I'm not expecting it to get cleaned up. If you believe in stats, I mean, the stats will tell you that a top 15 defense is going to have a much easier time at going the distance. But if you're not a top 15 defense, more than likely you don't win tonight's game. So there's some luck on our side tonight. And yes, Puka is the real deal. Joseph Austin says that Puka's the real deal. I mean, how does this kid slip to the 5th round? But there was so many good matchups tonight in storylines. I mean, let's just think about it. You've got St. Brown is a 4th round pick, balling out of control. Puka Nacua, 5th round pick, balling out of control. Teams clearly missed the boat here. Kobe Turner, Andy knows. I mean, I wanted Kobe Turner. He was on my list. Byron Young was on my list, but Kobe was high on my list. Guys had 9 sacks or something in the regular season as a rookie. Would have been a game changer for the Lions. Somebody that we could have used tonight. Somebody that we could have used all season. So question here, an official Savage says, so is Kirby iffy? Will you single out CJ Gardner for playing 2 weeks off of a significant injury? Yeah, that's the whole point, dude. He just came off a significant injury. He should not be a main contributor on the defense. The team should be sticking with what's working. I don't know how to be any more clear about that. It's not picking on CJ Gardner but CJ Gardner's the problem. And we'll go back and look at the tape. Trust me, we'll look at the tape this week and we'll point out the problem. I mean, I was there in the game, watched it happen. CJ Gardner is the safety. He should be making sure that everything is in front of him. If Vildor gets burned, tell me how it's not CJ Gardner's problem to clean it up. He's in the last line of defense. Now, Kirby Joseph was playing single high safety at times tonight. CJ Gardner was up in the box. CJ Gardner got burned by Puka Nacua time and time again. So go back and look at it. All right, Joseph says Packers going to beat the 49ers. I believe that. The 49ers, they're kind of reeling right now. They're kind of banged up. Eric Meyer said, Dan Miller commented that a ton, what is that? On 3rd and 19, Cam Sutton was caught looking in the backfield, which is rightly stated. I'm not following the rest of that, which was dumb. Yeah, Sutton had a pretty decent game tonight. I don't feel like he got caught off guard too bad, but Puka got him for a few. We expected a few, but not as many as we did tonight. It just blows my mind that if you have one extremely good wide receiver on a team, how can you not just stop one? Just one. What did Puka have? Probably 140 yards tonight? I stopped counting after 100. I knew it was going to be a big night. Let's go back and look. Puka, oh my God. 9 receptions, 181 yards. 20.1 average, 50-yard long, 10 targets. Tell me how CJ Gardner-Johnson is not responsible for some of that. Has to be. 181 yards. Jefferson didn't even get that, did he? Didn't he have 140 in the last game? Who gets the statues after tonight's win? Are we talking like game balls? All right, so if I was going to give out some game balls, if that's your question, Jared Goff clearly gets one. On the defensive side of the ball, that's a tough one. It's a tough one. Yeah, probably Anzalone. Anzalone was everywhere tonight, and I hope that his injury tonight isn't going to keep him out of next week's game. So Bill Collier says, yes, you're correct about CJ. He was trying to play all the defensive positions. Yeah, he tends to do that. And one of Hutch's sacks, I mean, you realize that Stafford literally tripped and fell down. So Hutch had 1 sack. The other one just kind of happened because he touched him. Big lack of interior pressure outside of McNeil is why we get torched in the past. Absolutely, that is a great perception. Yeah, my voice is shot. It's complete. It's been shot, man. I've been sick for a week. Megan's been sick for a week. Yeah, it's been rough. And then tonight didn't make it any better. All right. So tonight is going to be it's going to be a short one tonight. I'm not going to stay on forever. I'm going to go back and look at everything today, and I'm going to jump back on tonight. So I'm also going to probably call in as Derek is still going. Probably call in on Derek's, and then don't forget Tuesday morning. Tuesday morning we're going to be starting the new morning show at 8:30 a.m. With Derek and I. Rocked On Syndicate Sports. There is a new YouTube channel at Rocked On Syndicate. Go check it out. Subscribe. Get ready for it. We're going to be building it up. Pilot show is Tuesday at 8:30 in the morning, and I would say I'll give it a couple of months, and we'll be rocking and rolling and doing a lot of good things that you guys will definitely appreciate, because you're going to get the real honesty, the truth, the transparency about everything. And as soon as this season is over and the Super Bowl is done, that's when we're really going to settle into this new morning talk show that is going to change the dynamic of Detroit sports, especially Lions heavy. We'll be talking about a lot of NFL, things and how they, pertain to the Lions, but it's also Lions heavy show. So, all right, let me look at a few more messages and chats here. Eric Myers, Dan Miller stated the refs moved the ball between the second and third downs in the fourth. Yeah, I heard that too. I did not see it. There was a lot going on. There was a lot of weird stuff going on with the refs. I can't wait to watch the rest of this tape and really see what happened. I'm glad I made some notes, because it gives me something to go back and look and see, where these refs are really trying to screw us. If they blatantly moved the ball, I mean, if they had the down and distance wrong, or the distance wrong after the down, I understand that completely. But you almost should probably make an announcement so that you don't catch everybody off guard and they get all pissed off. Detroit is not that place. Like, look, we're sick of it. We're sick of getting, shit on by everybody, and especially the refs. We're sick of having to play two teams in every game. This is not the place for it. Like, eventually at some point, someone's going to rush the field because they've just had enough. Duran Williams says, what do you think was wrong with the offense in the second half? I really don't know, other than Ben Johnson. I think he went into safe mode. It's like he started going into safe mode at the end of the second quarter. We were up by about 10. I think we were up by 10. And he totally just didn't call the same style of plays. We were mixing it up. We were getting the ball to Reynolds. He started like passing on first down as opposed to running on first down. Typically when you have a lead, your goal is get a few yards, burn some clock on first down, try not to get it, to third down territory, and then pick up that, first down on second down with a pass, which everything seemed to be working over the middle. I mean, Goff he did the naked boot, like I said this morning or this afternoon. I said that he would be doing some of that. He almost got killed on one too. But they were mixing it up. I mean, every other play was a different style of play. It was a different form of, the offense that was working well tonight. And all of a sudden, we went right back to just being stagnant. It was run, pass, or pass, run. It was pretty easy to figure out. There was nothing sneaky about what we were doing. The outside zone was wide open tonight, and they didn't use it. They kept running up the middle. So I don't know. Ben Johnson's play calling definitely calmed down in the second half. Gifford was getting chased more in the second half too, says Robert Welch. Who's Gifford? Stafford? Duran Williams says, where's Rodriguez? I don't know. Where is he? Goff. All right, gotcha. Yeah, Goff was he was getting a little bit more pressure, but I've got to go back to the tape. It's really hard at some point, during the game to special teams is on fire. Man, Fox, last couple of weeks, man, he's been dropping some dimes below the 10-yard line. So, all right, look, I'm gonna wrap this up because my voice is done. I've got to rest it and get ready to do this tomorrow. So I just want to Trey Bly needs to be fired. Yeah, he's having a rough season. Same thing that happened last year with Aubrey Pleasant. Same exact scenario. DBs were getting torched. They used him as a scapegoat. You can't use that as a scapegoat anymore. There's got to be a common denominator here somewhere, and we know who that is. I hope he fixes it because we were looking for a much different defense tonight. But listen, I want to congratulate all of you Lions fans, all of you diehard Lions fans, season ticket holders, non-season ticket holders, anyone who has never been to a game, and you've been sticking by these, Detroit Lions for a long time. Me personally, I've been doing it for, more than 22 years as a season ticket holder, but I've been going to games since I was 4 years old. 40 years. Families from the Detroit area, moved from Pittsburgh back, after World War II. So we're all about the Detroit sports and very passionate fans. And tonight really meant a lot. I'm sure it meant a lot to my dad, finally seeing something like this for his Detroit Lions, but also for me too. I never thought that I would witness a playoff win at home in my lifetime. I just never thought it would be possible. At least my kids, who were, one of them just turned 18, got to see it, before they really entered adulthood. So a couple of boxes have been checked. Finished 12-5 this season. Another winning season, 2 in a row. Lions were NFC North champs. And now we've won our first home game, and we get another chance to do it again next week. So super excited about it. I can't wait to hear what my dad has to say. Maybe I'll be able to get him on the show this week and talk about it. So, all right, y'all. I want to wish you guys a good night. Go One Pride, go Detroit Lions. We'll talk tomorrow. We're going to go live tomorrow and redo this whole thing. All right, y'all. Take care.